time is it? It is 10, almost 10 o'clock now in the morning on, what is it, Thursday, the 3rd, and payday's here, which is good, but the printer is down, so that's bad. And what I ended up having was some problems because I wanted to print out something, what are the odds? But this is something I really wanted to print out, not just print out, but really wanted to print out. And it ended up that I wanted to do a paint holder and was printing it out, and then it said stop, not good. Uh, I was using PETG, so I'm not sure why it ended up. We got the clog, but what I ended up doing is cleaning out the clog, and took the I didn't. This is just a spare one, but basically what I ended up doing while this was still installed in the head, that ran up the temperature, put the little pin thing in there. Where's the little pin thing? I don't know. Here it is. Little pin thing, and you shove it down and you get all the filament out. And then I ran some cleaning filament through there that I had picked up, and it's good to go. I was like looking, as put the little what is it, the acupuncture needle through the actual tip of the nozzle, and it ends up that cleaned it up, and I was like, okay, well, I got to be good to go. So I had to pull the filament out because it was stuck and wouldn't retract into the CFS system. So I thinking I'm good to go. I just plug everything back in, blah, 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 all of that, put the cover on, we're good. Decided to print out some friction welding things from Uncle Jesse, saw those, so I was like, hey, I'm going to print those out as a test print. Lo and behold, that doesn't print out. I get problems. The CM2874, the FO something or other, and it ends up, it wasn't printing because it says there's a clog, or something's, motor's not moving, and it's not really clear which motor. I'm thinking motor. I'm thinking, the lead screws, the Z-axis, Y-axis, stuff like that, and I'm like, that just doesn't make sense at all. So anyway, I want to show you what's going on here for those of you that care. So there is the assembly, and the filament comes through the top and goes down, and actually this is the outside of it here. So that's the actual connector that the Bowden tube goes in. There's some other parts, all of that, the infamous spring. So when I took that off, and then I started checking the hot end to make sure that was clear, everything was clear, I'm good to go, and then put it all back together again, and it ends up, it's still not working. So I was like, what the hell's going on? So I'm like, well, I'll take this apart again, and I take it apart, and then I'm like, let me take this fully apart. So take because you have this here, which will go down in like that, and then you have this, and of course the metal edges go down into like so. So everything fits and is supposed to be good, and it wasn't working. So that's why I said, you know what, I'll take this apart. Took this apart because trying to put this spring back in here is kind of a pain. But what I found out was very interesting. If I can get this baby out of there. Come out. Because the sneaky bastard was hiding. And on closer inspection, you can see that right there. Oh, come on, focus. See that little blob right there? That is filament. And that's what was causing the problem. And if we take a look at this, what I ended up doing is kind of scraping, and let me see if I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but that little piece right there, what I found out was this right here. that piece right there was stuck. And now this other piece just fell out. So, oh joy, more stuff. So this was the piece that was stuck, and now I have this piece that I don't know how it goes in there. I'm assuming it goes like, I have no idea. Maybe it goes in like this. Good Lord, I'm trying to do this left-handed and with the camera, and it's just not working. Seriously, and maybe it goes in there. Ah, there it goes. So in that little piece, this piece of filament got caught, and it was right, if this thing will stay focused, it was right in there. So right where the tip is, that's where it ended up getting that clog. So no matter how much I cleaned the nozzle was clean, but this was the culprit. So that sneaky little bastard in there was not being good. So yeah, lots of interesting, fun things. And I know that's got to go in there somehow. Please? Please? I don't know. Maybe this goes in first, and then this goes in. I'm assuming that, because it's further, so I'm assuming that goes that way and goes down. Good Lord, seriously. Oh, okay, yep, so that's how that piece goes in. And then we got to put this piece in there, but we got to put the spring in there. So that right there is a significant clog in the K2 Plus. So if it ends up that you get the message saying that you've got a clog and there's resistance in the motor, it's not talking about your Z or X or Y axis motors. What it's talking about is the motor up here in your extruder end or print head or whatever the hell this thing is called, this assembly here. And the motor here is not, it's getting the resistance because like we said, we ended up with that huge mamma jamma of filament. And yeah, you can see how, well, maybe not on there, but maybe on there a little bit better. You can see how it was all crumpled up. And yeah, it definitely caused a problem. That's PET G, by the way. And I run that at, the K2 Plus ends up saying that it runs it at 250 degrees, but I've been getting better results at 260, so whatever that's worth. So anyway, we got to put this back together, and then after that, I'm going to try to run those friction tips from Uncle Jesse, and we're just going to use PLA with that and see how that goes. So yeah, lots of fun stuff with the K2 Plus going on. Anyway, yeah, and I found that, like I said, a lot of the problems with the K2 Plus, I think, stems from poor handling. But then there's also the translational error that you get on their wiki page. So, for example, when it said, hey, you know, there's a problem with the nozzle, and it's like, okay, no problem, I'll clean the nozzle, clean it out again, it's clean, do everything, and it's good to go, put everything back together, run it again, and then it's like, no, this is what's wrong, and something else popped up, CM2874, or something about the CFS, and then the other fault came on and says, well, you know, the motor is getting restricted, and I'm thinking, that doesn't make sense, because what do the motors have to do unless this is having a meltdown? I don't understand. So the motor they were talking about was the motor in the extruder. So all those gears that pop up, And before it goes into the hot end, those right there, that's what was getting the resistance because of that little piece that was stuck right in there. So yeah, and if this is all together, so let's say we got the spring in there and you pull this out, that's what you're gonna see. And you're gonna say, well, everything looks good. You know, I mean, I don't see anything. Everything's clear. You might be pulling your hair out because you're going like, hey, it's clear. The nozzle's clear. The motor resistance, I don't understand. The gears look fine. But when you actually take this thing apart and you see right in there, let me see if I can, damn it, damn it, damn it. Is that again on there? Okay. Let's see if we can balance this. And I want to try to show you where this thing is at. So right, damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, Jim. Seriously. Okay, let's try this again. We'll try to do the balancing act. I'll try to be careful. Okay, so right where we see that dip, so right in that dip there, that's where it was hiding, was right in there. So it was lodged up against this metal gear and I just saw a very tiny little bit on this, and the rest of it was on the inside. So, yeah. And then you could probably look through here and see that hole and shine a light, and you can see whether you got a clear path up through there or not. Of course, you'd probably be better to, you can see how you can see my finger. You can see it clearly through there. So yeah, if you end up getting a motor resistance problem, or it says that there's a clog, or the filament can't get through, yeah, that sneaky bastard right there is it. So, yeah, so that's what we got going on. Fun stuff with the K2 Plus, and I was using PETG, Creality PETG, and I don't know why the problem with that. So we're going to put this all back together. Always keep the fingers crossed with Creality, and we will see how it goes. Alrighty. So I'm going to leave you all, like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that, because I was about to pull my hair out, and I'm like, oh man, and it's still under warranty and so on and so forth. But that little bastard there, that is a big chunk. And it's all kind of scrunched together. So no wonder it was causing problems. Okay, so that's it. We'll see you, American expat, retired hobby guy living in Korea, having fun with the K2 Plus. I think I'm having fun. We'll see you on the next video. Peace. Yeah, that's. Okay, let's try it again. Get you all back together, and we'll start printing again.